Revealed. My best friend's unexpected pregnancy with my fiancé. A heartwarming, life-changing story. Emma's heart raced as she stumbled upon the message that would shatter her world. The smell of freshly baked apple pie from Lee's diner. Her workplace seemed to fade into nothingness, replaced by the unyielding ache in her chest. Lily's pregnant, Emma, and it's Jake's. Those words echoed in her mind like a cruel joke. The betrayal struck her like a wrecking ball. Jake, her fiancé, her rock, and Lily, her sister at heart, entangled in a web of deceit. Emma had always known love was messy, but this was a storm that would drown her dreams. Just yesterday they were laughing about wedding plans over cups of coffee and blueberry muffins, dreaming of their future in this tight-knit Midwestern town, where the scent of apple pie wafted through the air every Sunday after church. But now her fairy tale felt like ashes in her mouth. She envisioned the town's eager whispers, the sideways glances, and the pity lurking behind every smile, and it made her sick. After a long shift at the diner, Emma poured herself a cup of coffee. The clattering of plates around her felt like background noise to her torment. Her heart twisted around the memories of laughter and joy shared with Lily, who had always been there, the sister she chose. And Jake, his warm smile had lit up her life for years. She had always believed they were invincible. Was that naivety or love? She wasn't sure anymore. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the days turned into a whirlwind of emotions, Emma grappled with thoughts of forgiveness. Did she have the strength to confront them? The weight of her heart felt heavier every moment. But there was this flicker of understanding, a realization that Jake's choices, albeit heartbreaking, stemmed from a place of fear. Fear of failure, of unmet expectations, and the burden of providing for a family. This revelation weighed on her soul. Could she even begin to forgive him? The holiday season approached, illuminating the streets with lights and laughter. Emma stood at a crossroads, her heart split between the remnants of love and the shards of betrayal. She found herself thinking of Jake's sweet smile and Lily's infectious laughter as Christmas carols played softly in the background. Yet her resolve hardened each day. She was no longer the girl with her dreams tied to others. She needed to find herself in her happiness, but first, she would have to face the harsh reality awaiting her. Just when she thought she had braced herself enough to confront them, an unexpected revelation stirred the pot even further, sending ripples through the tight community she loved. Emma's heart raced as a distant figure appeared on her horizon, one that could change everything. What awaited her next? Was there still a possibility to find healing? The town buzzed with anticipation, and Emma knew she stood on the brink of transformation. Little did she know, her journey was only beginning. The town's holiday lights twinkled like stars scattered over the quaint main street, each flicker triggering a fresh wave of memories for Emma. She stood outside her apartment, the cold air biting at her cheeks, but she barely felt it. Her thoughts were consumed with the impending confrontation. Her heart was a heavy drum in her chest, and uncertainty twisted her stomach in knots. Taking a deep breath, she stepped inside. The warmth enveloped her like a soft blanket, but it couldn't soften the chill of betrayal gnawing at her. Emma made her way to the small table in the corner, where she had always found solace in her coffee and thoughts. Tonight, though, her mind was churning. She reached for her phone, fingers trembling as she read the text from Lily again. There was one more message waiting, but somehow it felt too heavy to open. Emma? It was Jake's voice, hesitant and soft, from behind her. She turned and their eyes met. His deep blue irises, often filled with warmth, were clouded with uncertainty. We need to talk. Talk. Her voice cracked, laden with sarcasm. Is that what we're calling it? I know this looks bad, he said, stepping closer. But please give me a chance to explain. Explain what? Emma's words cut through the space between them. How you betrayed me with my best friend. How that betrayal comes with a baby on the way. His face fell, guilt staining his features. I didn't plan for this to happen, Emma. I never wanted to hurt you, right? You never wanted to hurt me, she echoed bitterly. The words hung in the air, heavy with truth and pain. The betrayal felt sharp, like shards of glass littering her heart. Lily. She's going through so much. I should have talked to you. But, her chest tightened. But what? You chose her, Jake. You didn't choose to come to me first. Emma, he reached for her hand, but she pulled away. I know I messed up. I need you to understand what, Jake? She clenched her jaw, fighting back tears. That you and Lily built a life I was never a part of? That you excluded me from your plans while I was dreaming of our future together? A moment of silence passed between them, thick and oppressive. Emma watched as Jake looked down, shame washing over him. I wish I could take it back. I love you, Emma. I always have. A wave of anger surged through her. Love? You think you can say you love me now? You made a choice. You made a future with someone else. Laura's laughter echoed in her mind, a haunting reminder of the time before everything changed. Just then her phone buzzed on the table. It startled both of them and Emma grabbed it, half expecting Lily's name to flash across the screen. It was a link to a local news article. Town welcomes new family, unexpected surprises ahead. Is this your surprise, Jake? She asked, her voice trembling. He looked at the headline, and she could see panic flicker in his eyes. What does it say? Emma felt her blood run cold. I don't know, but I'm guessing the surprise is about Lily's pregnancy. Before she could read more, a knock on the door pulled them from their tense standoff. Emma glanced at Jake, questions swirling in her mind. Who could it be? The last thing she needed was an audience for this train wreck. As she opened the door, her heart dropped. Standing there, with a look of concern etched on their face, was Lily, eyes wide, clearly caught in the web of fallout. Emma, we need to talk, Lily said, and Emma felt the shattering pieces of her life swirl closer, the stakes rising higher than ever before. In that moment, surrounded by both Jake and Lily, everything seemed poised for complete upheaval. Would Emma find a path forward? Or would the painful tides of betrayal drag her under? Emma's heartbeat thundered in her ears as she stood frozen in the doorway, Lily's presence adding another layer of tension to an already unbearable evening. For a split second, she forgot her own turmoil, caught instead in the familiar warmth of their friendship that felt worlds away from the reality before her. Lily, Emma managed, her voice barely above a whisper. I didn't know you were here, Jake, Lily said, her gaze darting nervously between the two of them. There was a tremor in her voice that Emma had never heard before, a mixture of guilt and fear. Lily, this ain't the time, Jake said, his tone sharp and defensive. You shouldn't be here. Maybe I shouldn't, she replied, taking a step back as if she could physically distance herself from the weight of her choices. But I can't just walk away. Not after everything. The air between them crackled with unspoken tensions. Emma felt as if she was standing on the edge of a cliff, the ground beneath her crumbling away with every second. What do you want, Lily? Emma's voice was steadier now, the rawness morphing into something fierce, protective. Are you here to explain? To ask for forgiveness? Lily's eyes shimmered with unshed tears. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Emma. I'm here because, she hesitated, glancing at Jake, who looked like he might both defend her and collapse at the same time. Because I want you to hear it from me. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I never meant for this to happen. Emma felt her stomach twist. What do you think this is? Some misguided soap opera? You're pregnant with Jake's baby. How could you let it get this far without telling me? Please just listen, Lily said, desperation threading through her words. I didn't plan any of this. I didn't think it would go this far. It was a mistake. Just like our whole friendship was a mistake? Emma's words sliced through the air, each syllable heavy with betrayal. No, that's not what I meant, Lily exclaimed, stepping forward. But Emma instinctively backed away. You know how I feel about you. You're my best friend. Best friends don't sleep with their best friend's fiancé. Emma shouted, her voice reverberating off the walls, filled with hurt. The tension in her chest felt like a tightened knot, raw and painful. I was confused. I didn't have anyone to talk to, and Lily's gaze flickered back to Jake, who remained silent, a ghost of his former self. When everything spiraled, I didn't know how to handle the guilt. I'm so sorry. Emma shook her head, anger and sorrow flooding her thoughts. This doesn't excuse your actions. Do you think I should feel sorry for you now? Do you think I'm supposed to comfort you after what you did? Emma. Jake finally spoke, his voice cracking. Please just give us a chance to explain everything together. Together? Emma laughed bitterly. You mean together in this? Your mess? Lily's face fell as she searched for something, anything, to bridge the chasm growing between them. I want to help you heal, Emma. I want us all to fix this. I swear I'll do whatever it takes. I don't want your help. You've done enough. Emma cut her off, feeling as if her heart might shatter entirely. I don't know if I can just forgive and forget. This isn't a game. The three stood in agonizing silence for a moment, emotions boiling over. But the sound of a baby's cry echoed through the neighborhood, piercing the tension like a needle through fabric. As they all turned toward the sound, reality crashed in. Emma felt a hollow void fill her, teetering on the brink of decision. Was it possible to unpick the threads of their friendship, to start anew amidst the wreckage? Emma, Jake ventured softly, we need to talk about what happens next. She could only nod, fear and uncertainty coursing through her. What lay ahead could change everything, but could she bear the weight? The glimmering lights outside promised a season of hope, but all Emma could see was darkness as she faced the path of choices before her. Would love end up triumphing? Or would it expose deeper wounds she didn't yet know existed? And just as the question settled in her mind, another knock echoed through the room. Who now? What more could possibly be revealed? The knock broke the lingering silence, sending a ripple of tension through the air. Emma's heart raced again, echoing louder than before. She glanced at Jake, who stood rigid, eyes wide, as if he were bracing for another storm. Lily seemed to shrink under the weight of uncertainty, her fear palpable. Do you want me to get it? Jake asked, though his voice held no conviction. I don't want to see anyone right now, Emma replied, barely processing who could be on the other side of that door. She took a step back, trying to shield herself from whatever else was about to unfold. Another knock, this one louder, more insistent. It pierced through her swirling emotions, urging her to confront what lay beyond the threshold. I'll get it, Lily said suddenly, her voice shaking, but there was a hint of determination. Without waiting for a response, she turned and walked towards the door, the timbre of her steps heavy with the weight of the moment. Emma felt a rush of panic. Lily, wait. But the words came out too late. Lily was already reaching for the doorknob. When she opened the door, the figure standing there caught Emma completely off guard. It was Sarah, their mutual friend and confidant. Her eyes were wide, breathless, as if she had run all the way there. Guys, I just got a call from Sarah, paused, taking in the scene. The air was thick with unresolved tension, and her smile faltered. Oh. What is happening? Sarah, Emma exclaimed, relief washing over her momentarily before the storm of emotions swept back in. You shouldn't be here. What do you mean? Sarah stepped into the room, gaze bouncing between the three of them, finally settling on Lily. I heard about the baby. I thought I could help. Help? Emma's voice shook as disbelief crept in, fresh anger bubbling to the surface. Help with what? With this mess. Emma, listen, Sarah said, her tone urgent, almost pleading. This is bigger than all of us. You've been my friend for years. I just want to make sure everyone know. Emma cut her off, drawing a sharp breath. Everyone is fine. Just stay out of this. You have no idea what it's been like for me tonight. Emma turned away, the heat of her frustration spilling over, tears pooling in her eyes. She felt exposed, raw. Turning her back didn't shield her from the reality of it all. Lily standing there, a silent apology in her eyes, and Jake, who remained a ghost of the man she thought she knew. Sarah looked at Lily, concern etched across her features. What's really going on? You seem different. Are you okay? Lily shifted slightly, her gaze falling to the floor. It's complicated. But I care about both of you and I want to fix things. Fix things? Sarah echoed, confused. How can you fix this? By now, Emma could feel the tension rising to a boiling point. She didn't want to hear anymore. Yet, the hollow ache of betrayal threatened to swallow her whole, and the uncertainty of their futures danced mockingly in her mind. I think we all need some time to breathe, Emma finally said, her voice softening though still filled with pain. Maybe a little space to think about what's happening. But was that even possible? Their lives felt intertwined, now wrapped in betrayal and heartache. Could they find a way back to the light? Suddenly Lily stepped forward. Emma, please. You don't understand how afraid I am to lose you both. I don't want this baby to ruin our friendships. It's already ruined, Lily. It's changed everything. Emma blinked rapidly, holding back tears. As a heavy silence descended, what felt like a lifetime of decisions hung in the air. Was there a way to heal from this? Emma could feel each moment dragging, pulling her deeper into a spiral. And just when she thought they might find a trace of understanding, Jake's phone buzzed on the table. He glanced down at it, his face paling. Emma could see the frantic text as he read, and her breath hitched. Who is it this time? Emma's voice sliced through the weighty silence again. Jake's answer could shatter everything. Jake's fingers trembled as he held his phone. The screen illuminated his face, casting shadows that mirrored his internal conflict. Emma's heart fluttered in her chest, a mixture of fear and anticipation. She could see his eyes darting over the message, struggling to process whatever it was. It felt like a match dropped into gasoline, igniting the already tense atmosphere. What does it say? Lily whispered, her voice barely a ripple in the thick silence. Jake swallowed hard, his throat suddenly dry. Emma could see the storm brewing within him, visible in the clenching of his jaw and the set of his shoulders. It's from Amanda, he finally managed, his voice hoarse, as if it had pushed its way through a blockade of dread. Amanda? Emma felt a chill run down her spine. Why is she texting you? We're in the middle of she's freaking out, Jake interrupted, his tone sharp but faltering. She says she needs to talk to us now. Talk to us? About what? Emma's heart dropped at the weight of his words. Amanda couldn't just waltz in now, could she? Jake glanced back at the message, brow furrowing deeper. I don't know. Something urgent, something about the baby. Lily's gasp broke the moment, her face paling. What does she mean? What can be so urgent that it requires all of us? I don't know. But it can't wait, Emma. Jake's eyes pierced into hers, and she felt the desperation behind his gaze. We need to figure this out. This wasn't just about them anymore. With each passing second the pressure mounted, squishing her heart between the chaos of fear and the hint of hope that maybe, just maybe, Amanda had a solution. But a darker thought hovered in the corner of her mind. What if this was the last nail in the coffin? Emma's breath caught as she tried to find her voice. What if she's just trying to stir the pot? What if she wants to? I don't know, Jake admitted, his voice dropping to a whisper like he was afraid to utter the words. But leaving it unanswered could make everything worse. So we just jump when she says jump? Emma shot back, the frustration boiling over. Why should we trust her? Look at the mess we're already in. Because we have to. He countered, his emotions cracking through his usual calm. The baby changes everything, and if Amanda's willing to talk, we can't afford to shut her out. We need to know what she knows. Emma felt her world spinning. There was so much she didn't understand. The layers of betrayal digging deeper. Could Amanda be their salvation, or would she be the wrecking ball that finished them off? Alright, get her here. Let us talk, Emma finally said, resignation settling over her. She felt the weight of inevitability on her shoulders, but somewhere inside, a small flame flickered. Lily tilted her head, uncertainty coloring her expression. Are you sure this is a good idea? Not a good one, but it's the only one, Emma replied. She turned away, trying to shield the others from the deep cracks forming in her heart. They would have to address everything, this tangled mess of emotions, secrets and unspoken truths. Jake nodded, the urgent energy building inside him. I'll text her. While he typed, Emma's mind raced through the possibilities. What could Amanda reveal? What if it changed everything once more? The room felt small, suffocating. All three of them stood at a precipice, teetering on the edge of uncertainty. Just as Jake sent the message, the doorbell rang again, echoing through the tense air. Each of them froze, their final breaths caught in their throats. Is that Amanda? Lily whispered, dread creeping into her voice. Emma nodded slowly, heart racing. She didn't know if she was ready for this, ready for the truth that could unravel everything or stitch it all back together. Can we face this? Jake asked, his eyes darting between them. Emma took a deep breath as the door started to open. We have to. And in that moment, she realized this was more than just a confrontation. This was the beginning of something that could either break them or finally set them free. What would Amanda bring in? Would they be able to handle the truth? As the door swung open, Emma's stomach twisted with anticipation, and she braced herself for whatever storm lay ahead. The door creaked open, and there she stood, Amanda, framed by the dim light of the hallway. Her eyes were wide, glistening with unspoken words, every inch of her radiating tension. Emma's pulse quickened, matching the frantic energy in the room. "Hey," Amanda said softly, the word almost a whisper, but it was louder than any shout, crashing into them like a wave. "Hey," Jake said back, his voice strained, laced with uncertainty. Emma felt as if the air had shifted, thickening with the weight of their collective fear. She glanced at Jake. He looked like a storm about to break. "Can we?" Amanda began, her eyes shifting between them, uncertain of how to continue. "Can we talk inside?" Emma nodded, stepping aside to let her in. The moment Amanda crossed the threshold, something shifted. The space grew heavier, saturated with unspoken tension. "Let us sit," Jake suggested, breaking the delicate silence. They moved to the worn couch, the three of them huddled together as if trying to shield against the impending storm. For a fleeting moment, Emma's heart fluttered with hope. Perhaps Amanda had something positive to offer. Perhaps they could fix everything. "So what's going on?" Emma asked, her voice steadier than she felt. Amanda inhaled deeply, her face a mask of conflict. "I know this is a lot, but I need to be honest with you." "Honestly?" Emma echoed, her stomach dropping. "We could use some brutal honesty right now." Jake shifted beside her, his body tense. "I'm pregnant," Amanda blurted out, the words tumbling forth like a dam breaking. The revelation hung in the air, thick and suffocating. Emma felt her heart fall, piercing pain slicing through her. "What?" she breathed, trying to process the impact of those two simple words. "But how? I didn't mean for it to happen. It was supposed to be just a mistake." Amanda rushed out, eyes brimming with tears. "And I thought it might be your baby, Jake." "Mine?" The word escaped Jake's lips, disbelief lining every syllable. "No," Emma cried out, a mixture of anger and despair bubbling up. "That can't be true. You know he's with me." I know. But we were together before and I didn't know then. I just found out and I thought no." Emma interrupted, her heart racing. "You thought what? That you could just drop this bombshell on us and expect everything to remain the same?" Tears spilled over Amanda's cheeks, her voice cracking. "I didn't know how to tell you. It's complicated." "Complicated doesn't even begin to cover it." Emma snapped back, the raw emotion spilling over. For a moment, she felt like she was trapped in a nightmare, and the only way out was through hurt and betrayal. "Look," Jake interjected, trying to calm the rising tide of chaos. "We need to talk this through. Let us just slow down for a second." Emma felt torn between so many emotions: betrayal, fear, and somewhere deep down, a flicker of compassion for Amanda's pain. But how could they mend something so broken? "What do you want from us?" she asked, her voice shaking. I don't want to be alone," Amanda admitted through her tears. "I don't want this to drive a wedge between us. You're my friends. I need your support." "Support?" Emma felt the word ricochet off emotional walls constructed out of hurt and disbelief. "Support? Do you really think this is that simple?" A deafening silence fell over them. Each of them held their breath, emotions swirling like a storm around them. What would happen next? How could they untangle this mess of relationships, trust, and the life growing inside Amanda? Emma stole a glance at Jake, his expression one of confusion mixed with lingering affection. The line separating them was blurring, and she felt panic creeping in. As the silence stretched, Amanda's gaze met Emma's, a plea hanging between them. "Please, we have to figure this out together." With those words, Emma's heart stuttered. Together? Could they really do that after everything? Emma's mind raced, battling between wanting to extend kindness and the instinct to shut this all down. As the pending decision loomed, she realized this conversation was only the beginning of a much larger disaster. "Are we ready to truly confront this?" Jake asked quietly, looking back and forth between the two women. Emma's jaw clenched, a heavy weight settling in her chest. "I don't know," she whispered. And as the uncertainty hung palpably in the air, Emma knew one thing: nothing would ever be the same again. Could they navigate this broken road? Would they emerge together or fall apart in the process? The silence stretched, a tightrope of tension that seemed ready to snap. Emma could barely breathe, her thoughts a frenzied mess. How could Amanda ask for support when everything stood in ruins? Their friendship felt fragile, like glass about to shatter under pressure. Jake's hand brushed against Emma's knee, sending a ripple of warmth through her. She looked at him, searching for clarity, but all she found was his own stormy gaze fixed on Amanda. "Okay, let us talk about this," he finally said, his voice steady, a lifeline in the chaos. "Let us?" Amanda echoed, as if the gravity of his words had just hit her. "You want to discuss it now?" "I think we have to," he replied, his eyes softening ever so slightly, an attempt to bridge the ever-widening gap between them. "But we need to be honest. All of us." Emma felt a swell of anger and fear mix inside her. How could they discuss this? Everything was too raw. But watching Amanda's tears fall, something inside her twisted. Did they have a chance at healing? "What do you want to happen?" Emma asked, her voice quiet but unwavering. "Do you want Jake to be involved? Do you want to keep the baby?" The question hung in the air, heavy and poignant. Amanda swallowed hard, a visible shift in her demeanor. "I don't want to make a decision in a vacuum. If I keep it, I need to know Jake would be there for me. For the baby. And I need you both know." Emma cut in, panic and betrayal crashing back over her like a tidal wave. "You cannot draw us in like this. This isn't some group project." Fury pulsed through her words. To think, she had hoped they might bridge a gap. Yet the divide only deepened, each word slicing through her chest like a knife. "Please, Emma," Amanda pleaded, her voice trembling. "I'm just scared. This changes everything for me. Maybe even for you too. Somehow we have to figure out how to handle this. Together." "Together?" Emma echoed, disbelief coloring her voice. The word felt like a bitter joke, a fragile hope buried under a mountain of betrayal. Jake turned then, urgency in his eyes. "What Amanda needs right now is clarity, not anger." He paused, taking a deep breath. "And Emma, we need to be clear with each other too. Our feelings, misconceptions, everything." Emma's heart raced. She could see the flicker of understanding in Jake's eyes that sent a shiver through her. "You think we can just talk it out like it's a bad misunderstanding?" "I think if we don't, we risk losing everything we had," he replied, his unyielding gaze meeting hers. "We can try to disentangle this, nail down what we truly want." Emma felt her resolve splintering. What did she want? Part of her was desperate to protect the fragile existence of their friendship, while the other part screamed for her to run away from this suffocating situation. "But can any of us really move forward?" she whispered, glancing at Amanda, who was now wiping away tears, her expression filled with a mix of desperation and vulnerability. As time passed in silence, the tension felt suffocating. Yet Emma could sense something shifting. Could they find a way to navigate through this mess? Or were they simply standing on the brink, ready to fall apart completely? Jake's voice broke through her thoughts. "Let us accept the truth. We've all hurt each other. But if we want to salvage anything, we have to be brave enough to face what's next." Emma weighed his words, feeling the weight of the decision pressing heavily on her. She inhaled, her heart pounding as she confronted the reality of the moment. "Brave enough?" she echoed, the uncertainty lingering like a haunting melody. Just then, as the silence reasserted itself, Amanda's phone buzzed, a new message lighting the screen, displaying a name they all recognized. It sent a jolt through Emma, an unspoken dread looming large. What did this mean for their already precarious situation? "Who is that?" Emma asked hesitantly. Amanda's hands tightened around her phone, her face draining of color. I think it's time we had one more talk." And in that moment, Emma's heart raced with a mix of fear and anticipation. What new truth would this bring? And just how far would their tangled lives stretch in the aftermath? Emma's throat tightened as she processed Amanda's words. The room felt smaller, suffocating. It was both a question and a statement, one that spoke volumes about the tangled mess they were all in. She could hear the buzz of the phone still vibrating, echoing the turmoil inside her. "What do you mean, another talk?" Jake asked, his expression shifting to concern. "About what exactly?" Amanda hesitated, the phone firmly in her grip. The silence stretched again, this time thick and heavy. She swallowed, struggling with something unspooled. "It's about the baby and who I've been talking to." "Someone who?" Emma practically whispered, her heart racing. "Someone who can help," Amanda cut in, her voice a mix of anger and fear. "And someone who has a right to know." A wave of nausea rolled through Emma. Confusion gnawed at her. Right to know? You've got to be kidding. Is this about the father? Jake shifted uncomfortably. It's a possibility, Emma. We need to hear her out. No. Emma snapped, all the hurt and betrayal streaming back. You don't get to decide what's right for Amanda or the baby. This is about our lives. Stop. Amanda shouted, raising her voice, desperation spilling over. This isn't just about any of us. I can't bring a child into a world where we're all at each other's throats. Emma flinched at the truth, each word cutting deeper. She didn't like the way this conversation was evolving. Instead of feeling like a united front, they were spiraling into a battlefield, torn apart by their fears and uncertainties. I need to tell you, Amanda stumbled again, her voice shaky. Tell us what? Jake pressed, his intensity shifting. We can't help if you don't let us in. Emma couldn't take it anymore. Let us in? Amanda, you've already pulled us into a nightmare. We're standing on shifting ground here. You're asking for commitment on something we barely understand. Amanda's eyes glistened with tears. I know. I get that this is hard for all of us, but I can't keep juggling our truths. You both feel something for me, and now I'm carrying the weight of her words came crashing down. Emma felt the influx of emotions: hurt, anger, disappointment, but most importantly, a spark of love for her friend. Amanda, despite the chaos, was still her friend, trapped and scared. Jake broke the tension, a softness in his steadiness. Then let us figure it out. He turned to Emma, searching for her agreement. Together, right? Emma's pulse raced as she considered. She felt pulled in multiple directions. Amanda was imploring, an openness creeping into her face. But could she trust this? Yeah, together, Emma said, her voice barely stronger than a whisper. But we need someone to guide us. If we really want to make this work, I don't know if we can do it alone. The thought made her anxious. They were standing on the edge of a cliff, and with every word, they were inching closer to the drop. What choices lay ahead? Amanda focused on her phone, shaking slightly. Then we should talk to him. My ex, he needs to be in this. He matters. Time stood still. Emma felt the blood drain from her face. Wait, what? You're serious? Yes. For the baby's sake. Amanda's voice rose again, fervent and distressed. He needs to know. Jake's breathing changed, and Emma could see the realization creeping into his expression. We can't ignore him. This could change everything just then. Through the haze of confusion and dread, the implications of Amanda's words loomed larger. A new direction, a new landscape to navigate with more players in the game. Their tight-knit trio now threatened to fray further at the seams. Emma let out a shaky breath, the thought hanging heavy. But will we be able to handle it? Amanda's phone buzzed yet again, vibrating urgently in her palm. There's only one way to find out. A knot in Emma's stomach twisted. What happens next? And in that moment, they all seemed to realize that the next chapter of their lives was creeping closer, bringing with it the potential for change that none had anticipated. But would any of them be ready for the repercussions? Emma's thoughts swirled like a storm as she took in Amanda's bombshell. Her mind raced, trying to find a logical thread through the chaos. It felt surreal. Her heart was still reeling from the realities fitting together like puzzle pieces. And now they were about to introduce another piece that could upend everything. Amanda, are you really sure? Emma finally managed to ask, her voice trembling. This could change everything. What if he wants to be involved? What if he doesn't? Amanda looked down at her phone, her fingers gripping it tightly. I don't know, Emma. But he's the baby's father. He deserves to know. Not just for himself but for the baby. Tears streamed down her cheeks, leaving a trail of lost innocence. Jake stepped closer to Amanda, a protective stance. We're here for you no matter how messy this gets. But you have to be ready for whatever comes next. His voice was steady, but Emma could see the uncertainty beneath it. The weight of their situation pressed heavily on Emma's chest. How had it come to this? Every twist and turn had sliced away at her understanding of friendship, love, and now impending motherhood. What if he doesn't care? Emma blurted out. What if he walks away? Then we figure it out. We've made it this far. Amanda's voice softened with resolve. I can't raise a baby alone. None of us can. A moment of silence fell over the room. heavy with the reality of their predicament. Emma felt tears prickling her eyes as she imagined the path ahead. Would they become a team, a reminder of who they used to be? Or were they destined for heartbreak and resentment? But what if this just complicates things even more? Emma's voice wavered, fear gripping her. What if he comes back into your life and it builds more walls between us? Amanda glanced at her, tension etched across her features. We have to take that risk. I can't keep hiding from the father. I owe it to this child. Jake nodded, his eyes darting between the two women. Maybe we need to meet him together. No secrets. Just honesty. Emma's heart sank as she mulled over the idea. Together like a family? The word felt foreign, almost at odds with the fragile bonds they were trying to salvage. What sort of family were they meant to be? Exactly, Jake replied, trying to infuse some hope into the despair. We can't control what happens next, but we can change how we face it. Emma wanted to believe him, but the fear of uncertainty loomed heavily. Can we really handle bringing him into this? Yes, we can. But you have to trust me, us. Trust the love we all share. Even if it's complicated. Amanda's words rang with truth, cutting through the fog around Emma's heart. Just then, Amanda's phone buzzed to life, vibrating violently in her hand. Amanda stared at the screen, dread washing over her features. It's him. Emma held her breath, her pulse quickening. What do you want to do? I have to answer, Amanda said, her voice barely a whisper. The room suddenly felt charged, the air thick with anxiety and anticipation. Emma could feel the ground shifting beneath her. A new reality approaching, fast and unpredictable. Wait, Emma said, her heart pounding. What if? But it was too late. Amanda answered the call, her voice a channel of hope yet hidden fear. Hi, it's Amanda. Emma watched as Amanda's expression transformed, caught between dread and determination. She had always admired Amanda's bravery, yet now, under the weight of her words, it was the thing that terrified her most. This was the moment that could change everything, and Emma couldn't help but wonder what awaited them on the other side of that call. Would it bring them closer together, or shatter them irreparably? The silence hung, leaving them on a precipice of unknown fate, a cliff where the plunge could either lead to salvation or chaos. Emma clasped her hands together, praying that whatever came next, they would find a way to hold on to each other. The call ended and the room fell silent. Amanda lowered her phone, her face pale and drawn. He wants to meet, she whispered, the emotional weight of her words crashing over them like a tidal wave. Emma felt her heart drop. A meeting? The thought was overwhelming. It sent shivers down her spine. When? She managed to ask, her voice barely a whisper. Tomorrow, Amanda replied, her eyes wide and frightened. He said he needs to talk about the baby. The implications of those simple words twisted inside Emma. Tomorrow? Just like that? The thought of facing another storm sent her heart racing. Yes, Amanda said, determination creeping into her voice. I can't put this off anymore. I have to be honest with him, just like we're trying to be honest with each other. Emma could see the resolve forming in Amanda's eyes, hidden beneath the uncertainty. It flickered like a candle fighting against the dark. But could they really face this together, with the weight of their tangled histories? Jake chimed in, his voice steady but cautious. We can do this. We'll be there for you, Amanda. We'll support you. Emma glanced at Jake, grateful for his unwavering support, but it left her with a knot of fear. Would they still be able to support one another after everything that had happened? Her heart screamed at her, pulling her in different directions, each one raw with emotion. Okay, Emma finally uttered, forcing the words past her clenched throat. We'll meet him. But I can't guarantee that this will solve anything. We're still navigating through a minefield. Amanda nodded, her determination solidifying. I know. But this is the only way to find some clarity. They agreed to meet at a local diner, the same one where Emma had first heard the news that shattered her world. It felt surreal to think back on that day. How they'd gone from laughter and dreams to apprehension and betrayal in what felt like a heartbeat. The next day arrived with an eerie stillness, the air thick with anticipation. Emma arrived early, her palms clammy, her heart thumping wildly. As she sat at their designated booth, the same one she had shared with Jake during happier times, every chime of the door sent her pulse racing. Would it be Amanda? Would it be the ex? Each possibility hung heavily in her thoughts, drowning her in a whirlpool of anxiety. It wasn't long before Jake and Amanda walked in. As Amanda approached, her expression held a mixture of fierce resolve and gnawing fear. Emma gave her a small nod of encouragement. "Are we ready for this?" Jake asked, his brow furrowed. Emma could tell it was just as hard for him, juggling his own emotions alongside those of Amanda and, "The possible ex ready as we can be," Amanda replied, her voice steadying as they settled into their seats, like a protective fortress around the table. Moments later a man walked in. Emma's breath caught in her throat. He was taller than she expected, with a mix of nerves and uncertainty evident in every step. They locked eyes momentarily, and in that instant, Emma could see the battle within, how he was just as scared as they were. "Hey," he said, taking a seat across from them, trying to catch his breath. "I'm Matt." Emma could see the tension palpably mount. "I'm Emma," she paused, wanting to shield her heart. "And this is Amanda, of course, and Jake." "Thanks for meeting with me," Matt said, looking down at the table. "I know this isn't easy for any of us, but right," Amanda cut in, her strong voice cutting through the moment. "We need to talk about the baby. About what's next." The seriousness of her words hung heavily in the air, and Matt nodded, swallowing hard. "I just found out not long ago," he said, running a hand through his hair. "And honestly, I'm scared shitless." Emma felt a flicker of empathy. "We all are," she admitted quietly, sadness washing over her. They were all just trying to find their way through a storm they hadn't bargained for. Matt looked up, sincerity in his eyes. "I don't want this child to be a burden to anyone. If we're going to try to make this work, then we all have to be on the same page." The reality of that hit hard. Emma realized that this was bigger than each of them individually. They could either let the chaos tear them apart or find a way through it together. Amanda cleared her throat. "I don't want to raise this child alone. And I know what that entails," Matt interrupted. "I want to be involved if that's what you want, but we have to establish boundaries." Emma could feel the air change, an unspoken understanding beginning to weave through their chaotic bond. "I think we all have to be honest about our feelings," Jake interjected, his voice calm yet penetrating. I'm not thrilled about how we got here," Emma said, her throat tight. "But I care about Amanda, and despite everything, I want the best for you and for your baby." Matt nodded appreciatively. "Thank you. I know this is hard to process, but I want to be part of this child's life." Slowly, the tension began to dissipate with each passing moment. Perhaps, despite the pain, they could open a new chapter, one where trust and empathy could mend the fractures left behind. As they spoke, Emma felt an unexpected warmth spreading through her. Maybe this pathway wouldn't be perfect, but perhaps it held new beginnings. And in that diner, with its familiar smells and sounds blending into a backdrop of hope, Emma knew this was just the first step to healing. They could redefine their relationship, each learning, growing, and navigating this complex world anew. Together, Emma whispered as the conversation flowed, and she felt a peaceful resolve settling within her heart. It wouldn't be easy, but they were on a journey to find out together, and that was a start she was willing to take. Now it was time to shatter the old and build something new. This was the moment they would look back on, not just as a moment of betrayal, but as a catalyst for transformation. Emma nodded to herself. They would rise from this together. And just like that, she realized sometimes healing begins from the broken pieces that were once thought shattered beyond repair. Before Emma could second-guess her thoughts, she turned to the others and said, "So, where do we go from here?" The room felt lighter, brighter even amid the shadows, indicating the road ahead would be challenging, but filled with hope. The atmosphere sparked with a newfound energy, the simmering uncertainty slowly starting to give way to possibility. Together they would take that leap into the unknown. And just like that, the thread of friendship, though frayed, began to weave a new tapestry of understanding, compassion, and perhaps even love again. Emma could finally breathe and feel strength beginning to course through her soul. They faced a long road ahead, but it was one they would face together. As her heart glowed with hope, Emma felt something profound shift within. "Let us do this," she declared, looking around at her friends. "Let us figure it out." Even with uncertainties ahead, she felt lighter. The journey had begun, and this time they wouldn't walk alone. Now more than ever, they were a family gathered around the warmth of possibility, ready to embrace the future together. And just like that, the dawn of their transformation illuminated the path ahead, fraught with promise. So what are you waiting for? This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this incredible transformation. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your support matters, and only true fans understand how vital it is to uplift each other.